Okay, next up. All right, let's get into the fucking actual news. Here we go. So Nick Shirley's back in the news. Nick Shirley is, I guess, the new guy. He's like now that Charlie Kirk is gone, they have Nick Lee Shirk. And this guy, I'm sorry, he just does not have the sauce. 158K likes. Yeah, right. So he went to Cuba, right? Says, I went to Cuba to document the humanitarian crisis and show life under 60 plus years of communism and now amid the U.S. blockade. Oh, did they just start it? Once I landed, they seized all my cameras except my iPhone and had intelligence agents following me all day until my security noticed their spies tailing us to the hotel where they waited all night for us to come down. Under communism, there's no free speech, and those who show the reality or speak up are imprisoned. Me going without a planned Cuban government guide nearly got me and my security taken hostage and imprisoned. The situation in Cuba is so much worse than anyone knows. Let's listen to a little of it.
When this comes out, or if it does, we are currently being tailed by Cuban intelligence here in Havana, Cuba. I came here, I've been wanting to make a video for so long about life in communism and showing people what communism is like in a place like Cuba, for instance. Came here to make this video, and when people think about communism, they typically just think about how communism is supposed to make everything equal, whether it be the amount of money someone makes or how food's distributed and how the markets are then controlled by the government. However, something that people do not think about, including myself, is how in communism they do not have freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of press. And therefore they want to make sure everything that is posted or out in the world about their country is filtered or censored. So here in Cuba, as soon as I arrived in Cuba, I did everything that you need to do to come into Cuba as far as the documentation that it takes to come to Cuba. Right now, there's a big...
Sorry, this guy is so dumb. I don't, it's me. Like, you know, apparently he was tailed by the government spies. Maybe... You got to get a little better at storytelling, man. This is, oh my God.
Problem taking place here in Cuba. The largest humanitarian crisis they've had in Cuba. Did everything that you need to do to come into Cuba as far as the documentation that it takes to come into Cuba. Right now, there's a big problem taking place here in Cuba.
What? What was that word?
The largest humanitarian crisis they've had in maybe 50 years. And there's no oil or gas due to the blockade after Trump and the United States took over and captured Maduro. So Venezuela is no longer supporting Cuba with any oil or gas.
Okay, all right, okay.
That also affects...
Can we just go to the middle?
Hotel, in the hospitals. Right now I'm in the only hotel in Havana that has 24/7 electricity, 24/7, because this is the only one that has that access. That's what the reason why I booked this hotel was because their website was the only one that was operating.
Dude, oh my God. Okay. I don't know what it is. This guy just puts me to sleep. He doesn't have, listen, sir, I knew Charlie Kirk and you are no Kirk. But I like this. Fuck this one. Yeah. Nick Shirley, when the Cuban intelligence agents opened the metal briefcase and pull out a copy of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I just like, this is such a strange choice for like the new guy, the new like citizen journalist who's going to pull back the cover on the corruption of these communistic regimes, right? Because for me, he's a dude who's like, after 30 seconds, just obviously a know-nothing. He's like, when you think of the communism, it's like everything's equal, but some things are not equal and they don't have freedom of speech. Did you know that? And I don't know.
Around 5 before sunset to go out, and the idea was we were going to go walk the streets of Cuba at night and show.
Like, it is a Mr. Beast style brainworm. If you've ever heard this guy talk about his like project, right? Like a more savvy, a Kirk style person would be like, right, so our goal is the elevation of our own political project, right? The normalization of our politics among elected leaders, right? And then the end result is an America that's shaped in our image, right? He's like, what's your end goal? I want to make fucking 100 million views. And it's like, what? He's like, I want to get 100 million views on X.com, the everything app. It's like, really? You don't, that's what you wanted? Then why are you doing like the communism takedown? Why aren't you doing, I tried a $10 hamburger and a $100 hamburger and a $1,000 hamburger? And it's so crazy hearing him talk about these things because he's totally, uneducated about anything. I mean, here he is talking about, he was like, I just assumed we could go into Cuba, a nation under blockade from the US, bring 40 million cameras in, and they would be like, oh yeah, this is nothing, sure. But he's decided this is his lane, that he's going to. I think it's the Somalian daycare thing. I think it's like he's like, that worked, so I'm just gonna do that from here on out. I'm just gonna listen to like crackpots and crazies that are like, everyone's scamming you. Here's the secret they don't want you to know. But he doesn't have any sort of foundational understanding for any of these things. So he's like, did you know Cuba is communist? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of bad for him. I feel kind of bad for, he's clearly being used. Like the admin is like retweeting him and they're like, this is the guy. He's speaking to Gen X and Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And it's like, I don't think he is. I think he's barely speaking. Ugh. Nick's explanation of communism as making everything equal is incorrect. Communists do not and never have sought to make everything equal, merely to give the working class power over the state. Okay. You're about 15 levels too advanced for this, all right? I don't need to see this on a community note, okay? This is the AI one. Gasoline in Cuba costs $1.30 per liter, not $10. Additionally, the Hotel Nacional de Cuba shown in the video is on the U.S. State Department's prohibited accommodations list, which bars U.S. citizens from staying there. This is a part of the reason he got kind of tailed, is because the Fed maintains a list of approved places where you can visit to prevent sedition on the part of like U.S. U.S. individuals, U.S. organizations that are going there. And so, yeah, when you broke that rule, they were obviously super suspicious of you. I don't know. Was he tailed by the U.S.? That would be a funny conclusion of this, right? That he was like, these guys were following us, and it's like CIA dudes. Ruxin Raid. Ruxin, hope you had a good stream. Ugh, my God. All right, next up.